Yes.
Audio's good in your part. We'll get started then.
Okay.
Uh, Welcome back to our weekly podcast here on Instagram Live, the only elephant in the room. We are here tonight with a special guest for our episode number 46. Episode
Yes.
number 46. This is a person that
46.
I've
That's a
actually,
great number.
46. I wonder why. Was it a good number for me? No, it was not a good number for me. It was
Oh
not.
no.
Yeah, it was life changing. But I have followed this person, our guest tonight, for maybe, I want to say 3, maybe 4 years tops. And I have found her on Instagram through a mutual friend, and I started to see her posting a lot of her work. And this is why I've asked her to be our guest this week on our podcast. Besides that, I think we had her on our podcast a couple of weeks ago when she was a guest, and she was able to get some guidance and some reading from two of our community members. But
Yeah.
without further ado, I would like to welcome back our newest member of our community, our friend, supermodel. Let me see if I get this right now. Promo model,
Yes.
actress, artist, self-love coach. I love that. That is a great
Yes.
combination.
Thank you.
My friend, Mantel Amey. Mantel, welcome to our podcast this week.
Well,
Man,
hey, thanks for having me.
I'll tell you the truth. I'm fanboying here because I've been wanting to connect with you and talk to you about your art for several years, and I finally got a chance to meet you a couple weeks ago and meet you here tonight on our podcast. I was super excited when you said, "Okay, let's go ahead and do it this week." It's like, yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
So we'll talk about the elephant in the room, which is your location. So tonight, I know you said you had an event going on, I guess, in town. You want to talk a little bit about that?
So tonight we had the U City Art Walk, and it was a night art
Oh, cool.
walk, and people's art was out, and there was a whole lot of tents, and we had everyone who does anything with their hands. So we had people who made natural candles, people who made jewelry. We had people who cooked food, so they had their food out vending. I had my art. Some people had their clothes that they painted on. It was live music. It was
Wow.
beautiful. It was beautiful, yeah. Lovely. I
You
got to
know,
dance.
that's a great thing. That's a great thing. I mean, dancing it just evokes all that great energy in a person.
Yes,
But
yes,
being in such a setting like that, when you have all these creators coming together under one venue, one roof, there's just this great energy around everyone because you all are
yeah.
creators of some sort, and every creator has this certain energy that they give off to others. And I think that's what drew me to your work the first time because for me, I kind of feel people's vibes, I feel people's energies. When I looked at your
Yeah.
work, I was like, man, there's some energy, there's some vibes going on in your work, you know. So I
Thank
really
you so
appreciate
much.
that. But
Thank you for appreciating. Yes.
I noticed, according to your Instagram post, so you have two different posts. One is for your artwork, and one is a little bit more personal.
Yes, absolutely.
So the
My art is Lovely Tell Art,
yes,
and that's specifically my artwork and anything that I do artistically. And then my personal page is Lovely Tell, and that's just, oh, you get me. You get me and all my craziness, silliness, anything I find beautiful and inspiring, anything positive. You can see, what's good going on in life in general. Yeah.
hmm yeah, it's one of those. According to what I read on your Instagram profile, that you wanted to make the world a better place, one heart at a time. I love that. I love that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
That is
Yes, I
so
really do.
great.
Yeah, I really do. I feel this strong sense of not just connecting with people, but when I connect or connect with anyone, just to
Mhm.
leave something positive, a beautiful experience, anything that I can compliment a person on. I'm going to compliment you on. I don't know if we get enough encouragement. I don't know if we get enough compliments. And sometimes we just don't get enough love. So I always just want to be loving, and I'm intentional about it. I mean, yeah.
I love that. I mean, I'll be honest. I come from a family that we're very old-fashioned. We're almost Asian, Hawaiian background, nationality, and
Mhm.
it's not a huge thing for Asian families, especially, to say those words. I love you, Mom. I love
Mm.
you, Dad. I
Yes.
love you. And
Yes.
growing up in a household where Asian, Hawaiian, we really didn't talk about stuff like that. We really didn't say those
Mm.
things with intention like you do.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, suffice it to say, in my household, it wasn't that much of that going on either. You know, my mom comes from the old school. I believe where children are to be seen and not heard.
Yeah, yeah,
And, you know, if you had a problem and the way if you needed something that you need to express, it wasn't going to happen. So I had to
true.
learn how to deal with that, you know, and understand. It took me till I was an adult to understand that that was the culture that most probably our parents came from.
Yep,
And I didn't want that for my children, or I didn't just, I know that people are fighting that because you want to be heard and you want to be seen and you want to feel like you matter. Even as a child, you have something to say, you know?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think when we come from that era of be seen and not heard, speak when you're spoken to,
Yeah.
children shouldn't be around the adults.
Right.
We when we grew up, like when I became an adult, and I became a father, I wanted to break that barrier. I wanted to break that old stereotype. And I tell my kids, I want you to be able to speak your mind. I want you to tell me the good stuff and the bad stuff. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we have to make sure we're positive, we're speaking about love, and doing it, like you said, with intention.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't always happen, but I'm finding out when I surround myself with people like yourself who
Hmm.
intentionally speak love, who intentionally give that vibe, that energy. For me, it kind of boosts my energy as well. It boosts myself as well. So
Right. Yeah.
I appreciate that. But can we talk about your art for a little bit?
Okay. Yes.
So yeah, I know you had this event
Hi.
tonight. I know you had some art pieces that you wanted to, or you shared with the event tonight. I did get a chance to look at some of your pieces on Etsy. So I believe you have your website, your Etsy.com.
Yes. I have my Etsy. It's Mantel's Art. MantelSArt. And I have prints there. Yes.
Yes, and I actually got to see a few of your prints, as well as some of your artwork on your Mantel Art or your lovely Tell Art on Instagram. Of course, you probably can guess which one is my favorite, but
The elephant.
the elephant. Yes,
That
yes.
was the popular. That was the popular print tonight. The elephant.
Was it?
Yes, it was
Oh,
very
that's
popular tonight.
so cool.
And
That
every
is
time
so
people
cool.
see the little elephant booty in the back, they are, you know, sometimes you don't see that. There's another little elephant leaving. You just see the big elephant, and they
Yep.
see the baby, and they're like, wow, they're even more interesting.
Oh, I
So it's
missed
actually
that.
two elephants.
I need to go back and look at that. I missed
Yeah,
that.
it's a little, I don't know if I have that print out because we were packing up. But let me see if I have that. But it's a little baby elephant in the background, walking
Okay,
away.
while you're looking for that, I'm going to talk a little bit more about some of the prints that I saw. I
Okay.
did put that in the post, your
Mhm.
announcement post on my Instagram. Some of my favorites were the blue goddess,
Oh
the
yes, the blue
of
goddess.
course the African elephant,
Yes.
the dreadlock lion, and of course my second favorite, cigars and cognac. Cigars
Hey,
and
cigars
cognac.
and cognac. So this is blue goddess right here. Her print is right here.
Oh, I love that picture. That vibe that she gives off is just amazing.
Thank
Beautiful work.
you.
Beautiful
Yeah,
work.
this. So she's actually a actual person.
Oh,
This is
okay.
my My friend Layla is a what you call her? Oh my God, a doula in Hawaii. She lives in Hawaii right now,
Oh, really?
and she helps women give birth, and she teaches women about everything, about their body and the love of self and the love of being a feminine, all that. And her name is Layla Wright. So she's
I'll
an
have to go
actual
look her
person.
up. I'll have to go
Yes,
look her up. I'll
yes.
say, hey, Mantel sent me, and maybe
She will love that. She used to live in
we can have
Philadelphia.
her come on. Oh, did she?
Okay. She used to live in Philadelphia, and she was a model so I used to go and sketch at one of the famous artists' house. So there's a
Okay.
family of artists here. They're called the Tiberinos, and they have a museum around where I'm at now. Right now I'm at 37th and Lancaster. And so they have a museum around here, and a lot of the artists would go there and sketch from live models. And she was one of the models one day. Yes.
Yeah, I
And
did
then
see
we
that.
just hit it off.
I did see that on your Instagram art Instagram where
Yeah.
you did sketches in the beginning. A lot of sketches.
Yes. Yeah, I do sketches. I try to do it all. The sketches. Oh, you said Mad Lion. I'm gonna show you the Mad Lion while I got a chance. Um,
Yeah, well, I'm a cigar and whiskey kind of guy, so that cognac and cigar one, it just hit the spot. It's been a
hey.
while for me.
And actually, I'm doing a commission of cognac and whiskey as well. I have a commission painting of cognac and whiskey that I'm doing from a
Wow.
gentleman that just moved into his house. So he commissioned me to do cognac and whiskey. So I mean cigars and whiskey. I'm sorry, I said cognac.
So okay,
Cigars.
let's get into that. Let's get into that. If someone wants, yeah, that's the one.
That's the Mad
Dreadlock
Lion. That's
line.
his name. It's
Oh
called Gully.
golly, I
Gully.
like that one. You know what gets me every time? The eyes. The eyes
The
get me
eye.
every time. Yeah, draws me
Yeah.
in. Let's talk a
I,
little bit about that. About
okay.
if I wanted to commission you, is this something that needs to be done in person? Can we go online and do it? How would we be able to contact you? Say like someone in California, in Los Angeles, if they
Yes.
wanted a commission a piece with Montel, how would they be able to do that with you?
So you can follow me on Instagram at Lovely Tone Art. You can follow me on Facebook at Mantel Amey. That's my name, Mantel Amey,
Okay.
Mantel. And you go into my inbox or my DM, tell me what you want. I will send you a price listing. And I work with photos. So I'll tell you just to send me the most clearest picture that you have. And then I will paint from there. And then you tell me what specifically you want. And we go from there. Of course, there's a deposit. So there's a deposit, and that's how I start. Because then I can get my supplies to make sure I have everything I need
Sure.
to start your paint.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's
I
it.
did get a chance. I did get a chance. I apologize for cutting you off. There's
That's
such a
okay.
delay on my side, so I hear you finishing and I pick up and then I hear you echo. But I did get a chance to go on your Etsy shop to check it out. I did look at some of the prices that you have for your prints. It's so damn reasonable. It's unbelievable. Honestly, I would think those pieces would be way more than what you have in price them out at. You know,
Yeah.
I think for one, there's a value in it being something that was created by someone. So there's value in that. There's
Yes.
value in the posing of it. There's value in the colors that you use, the materials, and everything else. I mean, there's so much value in it. When I looked at the prices that you have on your Etsy, I tell you, it's so damn reasonable. It's not even funny. You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I want to be reasonable right now. Make sure people who want a print can afford a print. Um, and that's why it's priced that way. My originals are more expensive.
sure, sure, sure. I can see that. But the prints, of course, I mean, even that is just a great price. So there's no one that can say I can't afford art. I can't afford, original art. Because you can get the cookie cutter art from the Walmarts and the Targets, but to get original, man, that's a
Yeah.
whole different thing.
Whole
It's a
nother
whole different thing.
ballgame.
I have
So
a couple of questions, if I may
okay,
ask.
yes, yeah.
I noticed you're a person that wears many hats. Tonight you might be an artist. Tomorrow you might be an actress. The next day you might be a self-love coach. And then I think I remember seeing you being a promo model for,
Yeah,
was it a tequila?
yeah.
I thought that was
Yeah.
I thought that was so cool. So my question is, what what got you started in art? What made you start putting your ideas and your love and your energy and your vibe on canvas or on paper?
Ooh, that's it. Okay. So I've always drawn. I've drawn since I could hold a crayon or a pencil. I've always loved to put things on paper. Especially, when I got a little bit older and I was a teenager, and I was going through the changes that we go through in our 16, when we're 14, 15, and 16, and I have anyone to talk to, and not knowing really understanding what I was going through. I used to draw women that I wanted to be, like I want to be this beautiful, what I thought what I thought beautiful was, I would draw that. So I started to draw women how I wanted to be when I grew up, I guess. That makes sense. Does that make sense? That's what I used to do.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I used to do that. And I used to make my own paper dolls because my mom
Wow.
wouldn't buy them for me because I was so rough. I would rip those paper dolls up. My mom's like, I'm not buying you another. Girl, you better get out of here. So I would just start making. I figured out how they made the tags. So I would draw the clothes and put the tag. Man, I was doing it. No, you're not gonna buy me
Wow.
a paper doll and make my own. Yeah. So that's one
If
thing that I used to do.
if I know if this is
Sorry.
probably the most difficult question of all, as an artist, as a creator, if you had to choose one that stands out for you the most, which one would it be?
I'm sorry. Repeat the last part. That car was so loud.
Okay, no problem. If and I know this is not an easy question to ask an artist. Every artist I asked didn't give me a clear answer, but maybe you have
Uh
a
oh.
different answer for me. So the question is, of all of your pieces, whether it be a drawing, whether it be sculpting, whether it be painting, if you could choose one that stands out for you the most, that inspires you the most, or has the most significant meaning for you, which one would it be?
Whoa, that's a loaded one. Right now, it would be the portrait of my father holding my nephew, and it's called Grand Love. That's the one that I would really promote, just because of just has so much meaning. Not just because it's my father or my nephew, but I believe it's more relatable to the love, the different types of love there are to experience, and the love of a grandfather looking at his grandson for the first
Yeah.
time. And my father, wild. My father was a wild man, like and he was I wouldn't say serious. My father was, yeah, he was kind of serious, and when he had that grandbaby, it was something different. He became a lot
Oh yeah.
tamer. He was less wild, and he was just a milder person. And that love was just to see the pride in his face looking at his grandbaby. I painted the wildness in there, the colors that are all sporadic, and then I put a heartbeat in the middle. So there's a heartbeat
Whoa.
going through that's mild. So it's fighting against the wildness that I know he still had, and that meekness that he wanted to show for the baby. So my nephew. So that is one that stands out, and it was one of the most difficult to do because my father was still alive during that time, and I wanted to get it done before he passed away because he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease,
Mhm.
and he was very sick. So I got to show him before he passed away, and he smiled. I mean, it was so beautiful. He was so enamored of it. And now my nephew, Grant, that's his name, he's going to get a copy to have in the house. They just moved to a new house. I mean, it's such a
Nice,
beautiful thing.
nice.
Yeah.
So it's a gift
So
that
that would
keeps
be the
on
one.
giving. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think it's a
So
gift
that's,
that not only it gave to your dad, it is now
mhm.
going to be given to your nephew, and
Yes.
it still gives that significant meaning for yourself. I love that. You know,
Yeah. The
it's a full circle.
trifecta, the
Yeah,
three, everything beautiful
exactly.
threes.
I love
The
that.
trifecta.
Man, that's so amazing. That's so amazing. Um,
I'm a deep feeler, and I just feel everything so deeply, and then I'm a believer of numbers and significance,
mhm.
and yeah, everything happens for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that. I don't believe in coincidences,
Nope.
not at all. I do believe things do happen for a reason in the perfect timing, even though we may
Yes.
not understand it. Um, I did have a couple more questions, and again, I
Okay.
want to be mindful of your time because I know you're out there. It's about time to pack up. I'm sure people are going to be packing up soon. But
Yeah.
the other question was, the other question
Infinite.
was, there is such a vibe about you that when you're around, when we got to meet the first time a
Yeah.
couple of weeks ago, there's such a different energy about you. Is that something that you have fallen into? Have you worked on that? Is it to people that you've met? Or I know you said there's things you do with intention, but to get to that place where you are at, you give that vibe or energy of intention with intention. There has to be some work that was done on your part.
Ooh.
So
Yes. Oh.
I'm asking you about that work.
Oh. Wow. Okay.
I know
So
I
yeah,
I probably should have told
you
you that questions are
you
going to be
should
a little
tell me to
deep
be
tonight.
prepared today. Mister,
This is a lot
be
more fun.
prepared.
It's a lot more fun, Mantel. Are you kidding me?
I love a challenge, so let me see what I can do about that question. Let's see. At one point in my life, I thought I'd already done the work. I already thought I did all the work I had to do. I'm constantly and absolutely feel like I'm always changing. So I'm always in that stage where I'm like a butterfly, but I'm in the cocoon, and I'm like, oh, I think I'm getting my wings, and then nope, I'm back. It's not time yet.
Yeah.
So I have more work to do, and I feel like I was always in the middle of changing. Um, but now that I'm a little wiser, it's just we're always going to change, and we are supposed to grow.
Yep.
So we have to have a time in our life where we face challenges, and not be upset about the challenge, but know that there's a process. The reason why we're going through the challenge is to better ourselves and to not dwell on that actual challenge. Um, so yeah, I mean, during the pandemic, I was really challenged. My social butterfly self was stuck in the house, and I didn't do well. I tell you, I always needed something to do. I wasn't drawing and painting. It just was like I was like a butterfly in a glass jar, and I'm flicking around, flicking around. So I had to do work and heal from that. So yeah, I do a lot of work on surviving that because we're all survivors of the pandemic. I don't care what anybody says. We had to survive, and
Sure.
it
Yeah.
was something that we had to do that we are not used to doing.
Yep.
And I changed and grew from that. I had to work on my relationships. Had to work on the self-love, as far as having boundaries. Knowing my worth. Not just taking things from people to be a people pleaser, because I was a people pleaser, and had to learn how to say no. This does not
Yeah.
serve me, and have the strength to let things go when they weren't healthy for me as far as people. And about energy vampires, I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
we had a couple of those.
Yeah.
And just that kind of thing. So I had to do a whole toxic cleanse, and this is what I am right now. A little tougher, but still the balance of sweetness and toughness is what I had to master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I can see that you're not really the introvert. You're more the extrovert. I think is the correct word. You're the social butterfly, and I think a lot of it is you vibe off for other people's energy, but
Mhm.
but you give off. that strong energy. You give off
Yeah.
that energy of, I'm woman, I'm strong, I know who I am, I know what I'm worth, and
Yeah.
that's where that working, especially during the pandemic. I think people
Yeah.
who were wise enough to see it during the pandemic that this was the time for us to go inward, clean all that stuff out, get it out of
Yeah.
our lives, and then
Yeah.
put in some new stuff, bring in some new people, make some new connections, make some new friends.
Absolutely.
I'm
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
quite the opposite. I'm more of the introvert. I don't like being in front of a camera. I don't like to speak in front of crowds, and I don't like any of that. But
Uh-huh.
doing this podcast every week, getting face to face with people from all over the world, meeting amazing people like yourself, Mantel, it is just one of the biggest healing factors for
Oh,
me to be able to
yeah.
have that self worth, to feel that self worth.
Yeah.
And it's not temporary, where it's only now when we're on podcast and afterwards I go back down into that blackness. No, I believe that we're allowed to kind of go through some of the rougher roads and be kept like a butterfly in a little bell jar glass for a little bit to kind
Yeah.
of figure stuff out for ourselves so that when we're ready, we can come out of that cocoon, we can come out of that darkness and grab
Yeah.
onto the light and never let go and show people the way. I think that's what
Oh.
Mantel does. I think that's what you do. Really do.
Oh, thank you. Listen. Oh, so my friend here, this is my friend's work. I don't know if you can see it. Einstein.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's
As my
cool.
Yeah, it's my friend Sean Shizar. He's a fashion designer. He's like me, and so we hit it off. But he always says to people who are like stopping my energy, he's like, "Don't step on her wings. Get off of her wings. Get off of her
Yeah,
wings." I'm cracked
yeah.
up because they and so me and my friend, one of my other friends, we used to promote parties here in Philadelphia. And every time we walked into a party, the DJ would say, "There are the butterflies," because we were known as the
Mhm,
butterflies. Very social. We were the face of the promotion. We were the people who got the people on the dance floor starting the party. We were the face, and we would just flutter around and get people to have a good time and flutter away, and you know.
Yeah,
So butterflies have a big
I can see that.
significance.
I think
Yeah.
that's why you're a great. I think that's why you are a great promo model because you're not afraid of that interaction. You can get into
No.
that product. You can believe in that product. You
Yep.
can get that connection. You can make people feel what you feel, just by
Yeah.
being you and not having to worry about being disingenuous, but very genuine. And it does show in your art as well. I think I've said this before to other artists. In every piece, there's a little bit of a different energy, there's a little bit of a different vibe. And I
Yeah.
notice in your artwork, there might be similar colors, there might be similar shapes, and the way you do the lines and the shapes
Yeah.
on your portraits and on your painting. But in every painting I saw last night, there was a different vibe. There's a different energy to it, and I think
Yeah.
that's something you do intentionally.
Yeah. I mean, yes. I everything. I look at everything as fragments of a whole. I don't know if that
Mm.
makes sense.
It does.
That makes sense.
It does.
Yeah, it's little fragments. That's the small
You,
picture. Yeah, little.
well, it does take baby steps to get to big goals, just
Yeah,
like in art. It takes little pieces to make the entire piece.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But I like that about your work. I like that about you, and I think you got that so well meshed together. It's like a complete picture. Now that I get a chance to speak with you and interact with you and have you a guest on our podcast, for those of you who are just joining, watching the replay, our guest tonight is Lovely Tell. That is her
yeah,
personal IG. That's where you get to see who she is behind the scenes. Also,
yeah.
she has a second where Instagram where she puts her artwork. And guys, if you haven't checked her out yet, by all means, please go follow her. Her art Instagram is Lovely Tell Art. She's got
Yes.
some amazing pictures, all original. You can actually order prints on her Etsy website. Mantel, will you please remind us of your Etsy shop, please?
My Etsy shop is, so you'll do etsy.com/shop/ Mantel's Art, MANTELSART. They are 11
Great.
by 18 prints and maybe a few 12 by 18 prints there. My cigar is gone. That sold, and it went to, let's see, was it Bolivia or Bulgaria? I always mix it up.
Oh,
First time
wow.
international. Yeah,
Wow.
international
Wow.
piece. Yeah, it's gone. I was like, where am I sending this? That was, you had to decipher the address. It wasn't written in English, and he paid me the money, and I was like, I don't know where this. So, but I have a painting in Bolivia. Bulgaria?
I,
That's one of those.
I would think it would be Bolivia. Sounds more correct.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that. That's amazing.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
wait,
So
did they get the original or I'm assuming
they got
the
it
original?
was an original
Oh,
painting. The
oh
original.
man.
I was
Man.
just sitting one day, and I always say I want to make money while I'm sleeping, or just while I'm just out, just doing anything, just living my life. And I heard the Cash App, cha-ching, and I said, "What?" And then I looked, and I said, "What?" And then I saw the address, and I said, "What?" And I called my friend at the time, my guy at the time. I said, "Hey, I got a piece that needs to go ship international to some place I never heard of, and the address is not written in English, but
Man.
I got it." And it was amazing. It was amazing.
Congratulations. That's awesome. That's really
Did you know
awesome.
I used to live in Hawaii? I don't know if you talked about that.
Okay, we were gonna that was the last thing we were gonna talk about tonight was I know you said you
Oh,
live in Hawaii. I believe it was on a military base, you said?
yes, Schofield Barracks.
Schofield Barracks.
Schofield
Okay,
Barracks.
okay. I
Yes.
gotcha.
Aloha.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, on Oahu. Are you on Oahu?
I am. I
Almost
am.
done.
So I am
You are
actually on the west side of the island. So
okay.
from Schofield, maybe a 40 minute drive to where you are.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I used to live in Hilamano. I lived
Okay,
in
yeah.
Wahiawa,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and I lived near the Dole Plantation.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's about an hour's ride from where I am currently. So I'm actually in Nanakuli. That is
Okay.
way on the west side. Um,
I don't think I've ever been
yeah,
there.
and you believe me, you don't want to come here. It's a lot, just local traffic only. It was
Oh,
considered one of the most dangerous sides of the island, but we've kind of
mm-hmm.
calmed down. We've kind of calmed down. I actually live in a second Waikiki city called Kapolei, so it's about 30 minutes from here. But
Oh, wow.
my I'm visiting with my parents. I've been helping my parents out the last week or so.
Oh, God
But
bless you. Bless you.
I am so glad I got a chance to talk to you tonight. I did take
Yeah.
some notes so that I'll make sure, well, I'll post it again tonight with all of the details, your Etsy
Okay.
shop,
Yeah.
also your Instagram and your Facebook. I'll make sure I do that as well.
Thank
Mantel,
you.
I cannot thank you enough for you taking time out as late as it is where you are right now,
Yeah.
especially during this event. I truly appreciate you being with us, and I look forward to connecting with you again.
Yes.
Mattel, any last words for our audience watching tonight?
Any last words?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, for the viewers. Hi, viewers. I see everybody saying hi. Aloha. What do I say? What will I say? I will say, stay kind. Don't beat yourself up when you make a mistake. Talk to yourself with love, and always, always speak to yourself like you speak to someone else that you love. Take it easy on yourself. Take it easy on others, and just be a light. Because you do matter. Everything you do, how you make people feel, how you enter a room, how you leave a room once you've been in it, all matters.
Yeah. Thank you for
Yes.
that. Thank you for that.
Yes.
It's something my grandfather used to tell me when you walk into a place, you leave it better than when you
Mhm.
walked into it. You know,
Absolutely. And I
and with
like to put art on the walls.
yeah. And you know what? I'll need to get some prints from you to put some art on my walls because I have an elephant wall in my house that I'm
Hey,
starting to build elephant prints. So we won't even talk about that. But I want to
hey.
thank you for meeting with us tonight, taking time out of your long, busy night, and
Hey.
for leaving our podcast better than when we started this podcast
Aw,
tonight. So,
that is so
Mantel,
beautiful.
thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for your time tonight. I do appreciate you so much. We'll be in touch, okay? Good,
Okay.
good night, everybody. Take care.
Aloha.
Thank you for
Thank you,
joining us.
everyone. Stay beautiful.
Aloha.
Stay blessed. Bye bye.